All right, guys, got another welder. This one came out of Amazon. Let's tear this box open. Let's see what we get. So this is a 110 volt only. Let's verify that. Yeah, this is a company's name, Winbegin. Winbegin. Be different. 140 amp gasless MIG stick and lift TIG. Now it does not come with the lift TIG torch. So what's convenient about this is for a lot of homeowners, they're not going to need 220 volt welding capabilities. A lot of guys, doing your lawnmower repairs, your small home shop garage type stuff. A 140 amp welder on a 110 outlet is going to do everything that you need for a lot of people. Is it nice to have the capability to run a dual volt that you can go mobile, go to your buddy's house and plug into his garage on 110, and have the capability to go into a 220 volt outlet and have a 50 amp service and be able to like run 200 amps, 210 amps. It's nice to have that, but for a lot of people, this 110 volt and this 140 amps, like I said, is plenty. So let's see what we get from Winbegin, the MIG 140. This is a newer company to Amazon. I looked around a little bit online, and what I saw was that the brand, they made yellow housing welders also. You see them even right now on eBay. And they have a few more models. Right now there's only 2 models that are showing up under the name Winbegin on Amazon. That may change, I am assuming that this is a newer company, because some of you may know that I'm in what's called Amazon Vine. I'm an Amazon Vine voice, which means I get the opportunity to request free products off of a certain private website of Amazon's to review the items. And this was actually from the Amazon Vine side, which typically are companies that are under, how would I say it? They're underrepresented on Amazon, don't have a lot of reviews. They're basically using the Vine program through Amazon to get people like me to look at the product, talk about the product a little bit, give an honest review. And when you see on a review and it says that it was an Amazon Vine voice person, usually it'll have green printing above the Amazon review, that's telling you that it's somebody like me that for years has been doing quality reviews. I've been recognized by Amazon, invited into the program, and my reviews are not bought and paid for by anybody, because I am not in contact with Winbegin. I deal with Amazon. Amazon invites me to the program. Winbegin pays Amazon to put these items into the Vine program. I go into my Vine account. I choose this product. I can say anything I want, good or bad. I owe nothing to this company. So what I see, what I do, what I write, and what my other people in Vine, we are not beholden to these companies. We are beholden only to doing quality reviews to help downline buyers make a choice about the product. So it's very small, as we can see, which I anticipate that being a, it's a gasless, so that means, no solenoids, nothing like that. So the power cord is heavy, which I would expect, because even to get the 140 amps that this thing's rated at, you're not doing that off of a standard household 15 amp breaker. You'll at least want a garage 30 or a 20 amp. Like I have 20 amp circuits all around my garage. I have a 50 amp 220 over there for welding and plasma. Depending on your breaker situation in your garage, you may or may not be able to get to the 140 amps that this thing's capable of. If you're on a 15 amp you're probably going to be limited somewhere around 15 amp breaker in your outlet box. You're going to be limited to about 100 amp output here. That's just the nature of the beast. And you can run a little bit more amperage out of your welder for a very short time. Up at my camp, I have a TIG machine up there. I have 20 amp, not 15 amp. I have 20 amp breakers. Running 115 amps, I get not quite a minute out of it before I pop the breaker. So just letting you know that you could get a little bit hotter for a short time. Okay, so this machine, it does come with your flux core wire right here. So this is just your standard E71 flux core. It simply mounts right here. You cannot put a 10-pound spool in here. You're going to be stuck with 2-pound spools with this machine. But you can see how small the machine is, right? I mean, machine weight, I'm not looking at specs. I'm going to guess this is 7-8 pounds. You're going to put a 2-pound spool in it. Ground clamp. It's not bad. I mean, it's a real light duty stamped, sheet metal stamped clamp, but they do have the strap tying the 2 jaws. They have copper contacts on the jaws, so you can see that, right? So it's not bad. This is pretty standard of a lot of your Chinese welders. The what they call that DENS plug. This is your stick torch clamp. That's got a nice firm spring on it. It's got good, nice brass jaws in it. It does have your cuts for, you can mount your stick 90 degrees, or you can mount your stick on a 45, or you can mount your stick straight. So they do have all the traditional and expected jaw cuts in there. What is this here? This is, I'm not familiar with the gauge from overseas, but it's a 1 by 14 millimeter. So it's a 14 millimeter cable delivering the power in that one. This is a 14 millimeter ground. Okay. Let's see here. This is a 300 volt, 14 AWG. Okay, that's a 14 gauge. And let's check this bad boy out. They do give you a little stamp steel multi-tool for your tips, your contact tips and stuff. Okay, so it's a two-pin connector here for the remote. Nose is itchy. Let's see here. I'm 5'7", so this is probably around 8 foot. See what they say. Do they tell me? Built in. Okay, so the one thing here, it says that ideal performance for 6013 and 7018 rods. So that's good to know. And it gives you 120 amp capability for stick welding and 140 for MIG and TIG. TIG would be if you went on your own and you bought the TIG torch. TIG torch, not a flex neck, wouldn't have expected it. It's a really odd. What the hell is this? Oh, it's a slide off. Okay. Okay. It's an odd size. 0.9 millimeter. Okay, so I'm not familiar with that. I'm used to seeing things in SAE, like saying 35 mil or 40 mil or whatever. What wire did they give us? They gave us, where's the sticker? Right here. Okay, this is 0.9 millimeter, which is 035. So we got 035 wire. All right, so now, what the hell, let's keep going. Go ahead and plug this bad boy in right here. Get that box out of the way. Now we're plugging into, again, my shop is 20 amp. So we're plugged in right there. Okay, Winbegin. Open the door. Ah, shit. It is keyed. It is keyed. Okay. Damn it. Yeah, so they don't really give you an indication of that, but the way it works is the nut goes down on vertically down, has two keys sticking in, and then you give it about an eighth of a turn clockwise with the spring under it, and that locks it into position. And let's see here. So if I put the spring back, and we go back, okay, so it's still locked into position. That's fine. So all you're doing anyways is putting side pressure on that with your 2-pound spool. Where's my knife? All right. So you want the wire to be coming under so it's in a straight alignment with your wire feeder. All right, so we're gonna put that down, and then we'll relock that. Okay, we'll stand that up. Get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. So we'll go ahead and we'll turn that tight. You want to turn that and lock that in. All right, and then you have your 2-pin, and it has a groove in the plastic, and top dead center here, we have a groove there. So I just noticed that this back nut was loose on this plug, so we tightened that. Then we're going to tighten this one up onto the machine. All right, so now take our wire. Right here. Now this is oddly not adjustable, so you cannot adjust the tension on here. So most welders, you can compress the spring at different rates to set the amount of resistance on here to stop you from, like, you know, turning this into a bird's nest. This one does not do that. You don't want to lose control of your MIG wire, which, by the way, I need to walk away again. Because I did not grab dikes or anything, and I should have. You got your spool mounted. You're going to have your pair of dikes, wire cutters, whatever you want to call them. Keep control of your spool snipper. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop that. Now, this is obviously, I should check here also to see what size they have on here. Okay, so they have a 0.9, that's what we want, and a 0.8. Yeah, and the 0.9 out. Okay, which I like. The side that I'm reading, the 0.9, which is what this is, if I can read the 0.9, the 0.9 is in play. Some of the other imported welders I have, you would read the 0.9, flip it away from you and go in, because it's the inner groove on the wheel is what's actually in play. I prefer to have a wire that's a 0.9 and seeing the 0.9 on the groove and knowing that I have the right groove in play. So I do like that. Kudos to Winbegin for that. Okay, so you just get your wire started into your torch, right? You don't have to go too far. And then you lock it down. Now, let's see, do they have an adjustment on here? Okay, no, this is, well, yeah, it is adjusting. Okay, yeah, so you have some adjustment of your, the pinch on your drive rollers, right? All right, so now we got that. So now we should be able to turn the power on, I guess. Okay, there's power. So it's on 030, 035, and lift TIG, stick, 030, 035. All right. So now we're feeding. Okay, so that's the synergy side of it. Is what they're doing here is they're adjusting both together, and then if I want to, I can adjust my voltage alone. So current automatically drags the voltage 18.1, 14.4. I can go down to 13.9. Okay, so what I'm doing, 13.9. So I'm setting an offset with this one. Because notice, I like down here at 13.9. Now I'm going to run this, which is the synergy, right? And I'm going to go all the way up. It tops out now at 17.3 and back to 13.9. But if I top this out, so now it bottoms out at the 16 and tops out at 20. So this is basically doing an offset. You're biasing the voltage with this wheel, and this is always going to move the pair together, but it's going to hold whatever the bias that you gave it here. Okay. Anyways, let me keep feeding. Now there is no direct feed button in the machine, and there is no wire speed adjustment. Like I have like a $2,000 MIG machine over there, and I can adjust the wire feed separate from the amps and the volts. I can adjust amps, I can adjust volts, I can adjust wire speed. So we should be coming soon. I can feel it. Sounds like, oh, there she is. All right. Now, let's go further. There's a piece of poop. All right. So 35. There's a chart in here. Let's see what it says. Workpiece thickness. And it doesn't go thick enough. This is like a 1/4 inch steel. So they're saying basically 140. Where you at? 140 and 20. So they're saying move the offset up to 20 and 140. Basically, this is maxed out. There's nothing more to it. Put a ground on, shouldn't we? Getting ahead of myself here. There you go. I'm surprised that there's not more of the flux laying up on the surface. I really would have expected more. And they give you this little brush right here. Is it a wire brush? Yeah, it's a real sparsely wired brush. I mean, hell, I honestly, let me tell you something. I have never done flux core in my life. And I assume you can see that. It's not horrible. Let's hit it again. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, I would definitely say that flux core is not my expertise, but this little welder, I mean, if it's what you got, and you got to do a weld, yeah, and I'm doing. You can tell I'm not doing, not wearing gloves or anything yet, but I mean, there you go. There's a flux core weld put down with a $100 welder on some pretty dang thick plate. Let's see what the backside looks like. Yeah, and we had heat through to the backside. Hey, it welds, right? What more do you want? So there you go. That's the Winbegin, the 140 flux core MIG that you know, with the coupon on Amazon is just barely over $100 bill, and it gives you the ability to weld. I mean, let's just play. Let's go stay in Synergy, and I'm just gonna see what happens. You know, because like, again, I am not experienced with this flux core stuff. I'm just gonna try to run another bead. Getting warm. Need to grab a pair of gloves. Luckily, my buddies at Art Captain were nice enough to send me some gloves last week. I do have Art Captain welding machines here also. They're definitely, I would consider, a different level than this. But let's see, we turned everything down, right? We're like, there, as low as we can go, 16 volts, 35 amps. I just want to see on this 1/4-inch plate what happens. Wow, okay, almost nothing happens. That, yeah, we got a couple balls of metal there to stick. But yeah, so this, I'm interested, I'm shocked at my 20 amp service that I'm not hitting a breaker yet. I'm gonna run another bead of this. I'm not sure what just happened there. Try again. Maxed out. TIG gloves, they get a little warm. TIG gloves are real thin. They're almost like leather work gloves. They're with TIG, you're a lot more precise with your heat. And let's see what that. I'll tell you what, you know, it puts out an amazing amount of heat for 110 volt, and it gets wired down. It gets it down nice. Let's see here. So there's my wire. Spin this so you can see that. I'll throw down another bead real quick here. I'll run a bead on this side. Yeah, I'll tell you, the flux core isn't as bad as I expected it to be. There's the brush sucks. Like, that brush is almost worthless. But let me grab something different. Now, let's bring this over to you real quick just to let you look at that. But I mean, that's it ain't bad, man. That's flux core, 110 volt, running off a household outlet. It's pretty shocking, isn't it? We do have everything pretty much maxed, but we're running really thick plate. But you know, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised. The Winbegin welder, it is putting down a really not bad looking weld. I think this thing would serve a homeowner that was, you know, running a welder in their shop now and again, doing little things. Yeah, there's no reason that they couldn't use this at home and have real good luck with it. Okay, so I did turn the power off just now, and I noticed the fan is staying on. Okay, there. Now the fan cut out. So the fan must stay on for a period, whatever it feels it's needed. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm actually a little bit shocked. I didn't expect to get much of a quality weld. I expected to just be able to stick metal together. But that's really not bad at all. It's a little bit shocking. Yeah. All right, man. So Winbegin for just over $100 bill. You can take this thing, throw it in the trunk of your car, or you could go to your buddy's house. You could weld up his lawnmower deck, do it, whatever it is you're trying to do. Yeah. How do you beat that? I mean, it's very small and very light. Do I expect it to last, decades, or to run 8-hour days all week long for weeks? No, I don't think that's the point of this machine. I think this machine is for you to stick on the shelf in your shop, and 2 times a year to pull it down off the shelf, do a little repair work, and throw it back on the shelf. And I think for the $100, you'll get your value out of this. You're going to get a quality weld out of it from what I'm seeing. And hey, there you go. I'll try stick welding with it also later. All right, guys, thanks.